my name is Cassie and I'm the founder of Fatco, where we use these guys to make this stuff. Let me explain. At Fatco, we specialize in making natural and organic skin and body care products, many of which contain tallow. It's nutrient dense and healing. It's extremely high in vitamins A, D, K, and E, all super important for skin health. It's natural, it's healthy, and it's sustainable.
The fact that people are saying, oh yeah, when you're finals MVP, you are now the best player on the planet, to me, that makes no sense whatsoever. I don't care if it's a week, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Who do we appreciate? LeBron James. That's who y'all gotta start appreciating. And you gotta stop disrespecting this man.
For that intro, I had to Google how to count because your boy is that dumb. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Prideful Takes podcast. As always, it is the ugliest motherfucker on the internet, Pride. I am joined by Nate. Nate, how you feeling, my guy?
I'm doing okay. My lacrosse team won their champions, and my Colorado Avalanche they pretty much treated the Tampa Bay Lightning like a puppy treats their chew toy. So in game 2, so I'm pretty excited to be a sports fan right now.
Yeah, I remember saying I think Colorado. I'll be nice and say it's gonna go 5, but I think Colorado's sweeping. I don't even think it's close. Yuki says, "Sup, Vin Diesel." No, I live my life a quarter of a mile at a time. Thoughts on Chase Claypool? Say he's a top 3 wide receiver in the league.
He's not in the top 3 in his own division.
Barely top 3 in his own team, and that's just because Juju left. Like, come on, educate yourself, bro. Relax. No, you can't even count. You can't even count to 3. That's what he say, bro. And then people say, "Oh yeah, he's a smart guy." No, he's not. To say dumb shit like this, mentally challenged. Justin says, "Is D'Lo Brown? You're looking like the real deal now." Hey, people said I thought I was on the wrong live at first. No, I have shaved my head. The bet that I made, I know I was trolling everyone saying I would never do it, but I'm a man of my word, and I shaved. So give your boy like a month, and I'll be looking back how I was before. But first thing I want to talk to you about, Nate. This free agent class, right? This free agent class for the NBA, it's kind of average. It's really not as spectacular, in my opinion, right? So yeah. One of the bigger names is Miles Bridges. He's basically one of the bigger names. The Hornets basically, if Miles Bridges is offered a max contract, the Hornets are gonna really have to. They basically are gonna have to think whether or not they really want to give him that max. So here's a question I pose for you, Nate. First of all, is he a max player? And second, where do you think he ends up this offseason? Whether it's back with Charlotte, or do you think he's gonna end up elsewhere?
Nathaniel, why'd you leave the eggs on the counter?
I think that he's not I don't think that he should get like a very, low sustainable, obviously. I don't think he's obviously max player because I don't think he's the best in that position.
Right.
That being said, I don't think that the Charlotte Hornets should offer him that max contract because of local where they were at in their standing. They should try to use that money to build around him. Because he was the best. I think he was probably the best player on that team last year, arguably.
Okay. For me, by the way, Dustin makes a great point, by the way. The free agent class is average, but listen, whenever there's an average free agent market, trades are going to be crazy. So I definitely do expect trading to be crazy. But for me, look, so this is just me. I genuinely see both sides of the coin on this in this instant, right? A few years ago, the Hornets gave Gordon Hayward 4 years, $120 million. He was 29. He was like 2 years removed from that devastating ankle injury. And he averaged 17 points per game in 33 minutes per game. That's what they offered him, right? For Miles Bridges, let's say because he's looking for a 5-year, 173, right?
Yeah.
He's 24, has had no major injuries, and just led his team in scoring, led in blocks, second in rebounds. This is one of those situations where I genuinely believe, because of his youth, I think everyone will throw a max contract at this kid. Because by the time it comes up, he'll be 29, and he'll still kind of be he'll still be in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like the awkward part about it for me. And again, Miles Bridges already believes he's a max player, so it's not like you can go and try to finesse him and be all like, oh no, just settle for this. He already believes he's a max player, which kind of adds a little bit of awkwardness to the situation, because all that's really going to do is he's going to go. If you're not offering him the max, he's just not going to want to talk to you. And me personally, I'll be honest, and this is just me. I do like Miles Bridges. I don't think he's a bum. I do think he's improving. In my opinion, anything over $30 million a year is absurd for him. Yeah. That's just me. Like, anything over 30 million, and even then, I think 30 million is kind of a reach. That's just me. And I think maybe we're being too hard on him. That could be it. But for me, in order for you to get that max contract, you got to be a max player. I don't see that in him. I see a solid player. I see a very respectable player.
Because I'm looking at it right now. He signed a 4-year, $120 million contract with the Charlotte Hornets, which pretty much is about $30 million already. Right. So I don't think that he should get a pay bonus. I would just maybe sign him towards give him like the same amount of just sign him to the same contract.
I would. And especially considering, like, this was his best year. This was his best year. Before this year, the 3 years before this year, nobody was saying he deserves a max. I'm gonna spit out some of the stats. Last year, he had 12.7 points per game, respectable. I don't 6 rebounds and 2.2 assists. Shoot at about 50% from the floor, 40%. Again, respectable numbers. Respectable. I'm not saying he's a bum, but nobody was screaming he was a max player. The year before that, he was giving them 13, 5, and 1. The year before that, his rookie year, he was giving them 7 points, 1 assist, 4 rebounds. So it's like, I understand, he had this great big explosion, but we got to be careful. We can't just assume every big explosion is sustainable. And to me, that's really the biggest question I have for him. I need to give you a deal. And even if it's a short-term deal, let's say it's 2 years, $20 million a year. Let's say it's 2 years. You give me that and then have the second year be a team option. If you could replicate a little bit of what you just did last year, now we got a whole separate conversation. Because now that you're doing 2 years in a row, I'm now looking at you like, okay, hold on. Now we're seeing the explosion that we want from him. Now we're seeing it. And now you can go, okay, now I'm more comfortable giving you this contract, because instead of just saying it was a one-hit wonder, now I can say you can make an argument this is the beginning of the rest of his career.
Yeah.
So I just think right now he's kind of he doesn't want to take that chance. He just wants to get paid. I don't blame him. I don't. But from a team's point of view, they're gonna be like, they're not. They're. I don't know. I don't know if, especially Charlotte. I don't know if Miles Bridges is putting up these points with a lot of other teams. You know, like the Sacramentos and the Pacers, the Orlando Magic, the teams that are rebuilding. Sure, right.
Yeah.
I think those he'll be okay. You know, like
But
the
he
OKC Thunder.
he wouldn't do it to like say a team like Dallas,
Well,
who just
Dallas,
is one
Dallas,
player away. Yeah.
Right. I don't know if he's doing that in Dallas. I don't know if he's not. He's definitely not doing that in Memphis. He's not doing that in Boston.
He's not doing Golden State.
He's not doing that in Golden State, Milwaukee, like the top
Miami.
teams. You can even like these top teams that. I don't know if he's doing that. I don't know if he's bringing that to the table. So that's now boop, you're eliminated a huge chunk of these teams, and some of these teams are willing to go above the luxury tax.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these teams are willing to pay out more. So if it's gonna be a thing, listen, there's gonna be a low end team who's gonna throw that money to him. There will be, and like I said, the OKCs of the world, the Houston Rockets of the world, those, yes, he could do it, no problem. I think he could do it, but on these top teams, I don't think he can. I don't think he can. And I don't think any of those top teams anyway are gonna take a risk. I hope I'm wrong. Because listen, I do like Miles Bridges. You know, but my only concern with him is, dude, just with one off of 1 year, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yep, he's legit. He just like, nah.
I don't think he's gonna be like. Oh gosh, he's on my own team, and I forgot his name. Tells you how much I'm a fan of this guy. Anyway, backup point guard for the Nuggets. Backup point guard for the Nuggets, Austin something. Anyway, he had one good year with
Rivers.
the Rockets. What?
Yeah, Austin Rivers.
Austin Rivers, yes.
Yeah.
He had one good year with the Houston Rockets. Since then, just faded away. Are you? Obviously, we know that even though he had one good year, he's not worth. Austin Rivers is definitely not worth a max contract deal.
Yeah. Yuki says, do you see any NBA teams trading up in the draft? Trading up, no. However, I do see a couple teams willing to get rid of their pick for a player. For me, I think the Charlotte Hornets, depending on the situation, I think they might end up trading. I think they got the 13th pick overall. I think they might trade it. The Pelicans, supposedly CJ McCollum is trying to get Dame to be willing to leave from the Trailblazers, and if they do, it's going to be a package surrounded around their number 8 pick.
Honestly, at this point, I don't see that trade happening, because if they end up making a trade, it would have to center around Zion. I think Zion would probably be part of that contract.
Mm-mm.
And I don't think the Pelicans are willing to do that.
Maybe. Yeah. Perhaps, yeah. AP says, you think the Warriors will be able to keep everybody? Kings are offering a first for Poole. I think they do. I think for Jordan Poole, it all really comes down to if he's stupid or not. That's really what it comes down to. If he's stupid enough to think he's legit and that he's ready now, if he's that stupid, if I'm going to stay, I'll let him go.
Poole is the only one that I think might leave, but I'm not sure. Like, I could see him staying. I could see him going. I could see him either, if he goes, I see Kings or I see the New York Knicks picking him up. But I think
Dude says, what are your thoughts on the Eagles' new word mark? In my opinion, it's freaking stupid. I don't like it. I don't know if you saw it, Nate, but that new thing for the Eagle, I think it's dumb. I don't like it at all. I think it's dumb as hell.
It's kind of like the Rams. I still think that's kind of weird.
Yeah. Back to Miles Bridges. Dustin says Hornets are the only ones that will give a massive deal. The only other team I can see doing is Miami to give Bam some help. Perhaps. And then he also says, in terms of do you see any teams trading up? Sacramento on number 4 is key. Indiana wants to trade from 4 to 6. You might even see a team like Houston make a deal with Charlotte for John Wall and then have 4 first-round picks. I don't know. Because what's the point? This is just my opinion. What's the point of getting John Wall if you wouldn't even pay Miles Bridges? But it could just be a salary dump and they just get the picks.
Yeah.
It could be a possibility. Final question before we move on to the next topic. Do you see the Cavaliers getting Ousmane Dieng? By the way, I have yet to inform you about this international player name. This guy named Ousmane Dieng. He's expected to go 14th. This is his strengths and his weaknesses, right? So his strength is his draft age. That's his strength. It's his draft age. Now, according to the site that I'm using, these are all his weaknesses. By the way, when I said his draft age being a strength, that's the only strength he had. Outside of that, his true shooting percentage is a weakness. His free throw attempt rate is a weakness. His field goal percentage is a weakness. His offensive rebounds is a weakness. His effective field goal percentage is a weakness. His 3-point percent is a weakness. His free throw percentage is a weakness. His rebounds is a weakness. His assist to turnover ratio is a weakness. His blocks is a weakness. His assists is a weakness. His points is a weakness. And his defensive rebounds is a weakness. What I'm seeing is being a basketball player is a weakness. And how he's expected to be a top 15 pick, God bless him. I think Cleveland gets him because I think Cleveland's just going to fuck it up. What a time to be alive for that kid. What a time.
Why is he even expected to be in the first round?
I don't know. This says P.J. Tucker's opted out of his deal with the Heat, hence why they might have to go off the Bridges. But that's the thing, though. Like, that's two different things because P.J. Tucker was there just to be like a hustle and defense guy. Miles Bridges, defensively, I'm not going to say he's a bum, but yeah. But maybe they said maybe they're looking at it as we're gonna if PJ walks or when he walks, we're gonna replace him with offense. Maybe. Something to keep in mind. But speaking of players about to leave their team, we got to talk about Kyrie Irving. The Brooklyn Nets Kyrie Irving could not reach in some term of agreement or some type of agreement, and it looks like Kyrie's going to be a free agent. Nate, should Kyrie Irving focus on the money? Should he focus on rehabilitating his reputation around the league? Or do you think he should go get a ring?
I think his reputation. Because he didn't even play half the games last year. I'm not saying, yes, it is because of COVID restrictions and all that. I'm fine with that. But I don't think because of that, money's out of the way. Why would you try to get a max contract? Why would you try to get paid when last year you didn't even play half the games? I think, and I'm only saying not go for a ring because last year he was on a team that look at where they were at. They didn't even get a win against the Boston Celtics. I said this once before, and I'll say it again. Chicago Bulls and the Denver Nuggets have more wins this season, this playoffs, and they only have one.
Brooklyn was the only team to get swept in the playoffs. Nuts, man.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because Brooklyn was co-favored with Milwaukee to make it out of the East. It's crazy.
Them and the Lakers were the favorites last year. Neither one of them made it to the second rounds.
Mm-hmm. So here, let me before I even say anything, let me just say this. The problem with Kyrie Irving is not that he can't play. Kyrie Irving can play. The problem is his availability. Whether it be the whole vaccination thing, whether it be I had a poor shooting name, so I'm gonna go on a sabbatical. Whether it be I want this, you're not gonna give it to me. All right, I'll threaten to sit out. That's the problem with Kyrie. I think the next place you should go, just sign a 2-year deal. Second year and have the second year be a team option or a player option. Go somewhere, play 65, 70 games, put up 23 to 25 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, solid stat line. And Kyrie Irving's stock will go back up. It's going to go back up. Because again, Kyrie Irving's special. He's talented. No debate. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. The problem is his availability.
Yeah.
I'm not going to want a guy who can only play in home games. And then when he's eligible to play for those home games, some of those games he sits out because he doesn't feel like playing. That is a problem for me. Forget, this is just me. Forget the amount of money that he wants. I'm not giving him a contract if that's the road he wants to continue down. So I agree with you. I think he needs to just, if I'm him, I opt into this final year in Brooklyn. I opt in. I play normal. If I miss some games because of injuries, it is what it is. But I'm not, every time I have a poor shooting night, I'm not going on a sabbatical. I'm not going to be a crybaby. I'm not going to do any of that.
I would just blow up the entire roster if I was Brooklyn. Because
I wouldn't yet.
If Kyrie leaves, Kevin Durant wants to go. So what's the whole point? What's the whole point about keeping Steve Nash when he doesn't really do anything?
Well, honestly, they should get rid of Steve Nash anyway, but that's a whole other conversation.
True.
That's a whole other conversation, but man, maybe it's just a me thing, man, but I don't blow up Brooklyn. Not yet. Now, obviously, if Kyrie leaves, sure. But if Kyrie leaves, then you can get another big guy. If you could somehow do a sign and trade, get, Kyrie for Zach LaVine, Kyrie for Dame, something like that, I think they'll be fine. But we'll see. It says Kyrie's going to land in LA with LeBron. Westbrook will be cut and be forced to sign with someone else in rebuilding mode. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to LA.
I don't either.
Only because if he wants to get paid. LA's not going to pay him like that. I don't think they're going to. AP asks, you think KD will allow the Nets to let go of Kyrie or let Kyrie go, meaning he will fight to keep him? I don't know how you look at it, Nate, but I don't think KD is the type of dude to go and fight for someone. I think he'll go up to him and go, I prefer we keep him. I think he'll do that. I think he'll go, I think we should keep him. If it was up to me, I would keep Kai. I think he'll do that. But in terms of like, whoa. Like what LeBron did for JR in Cleveland, where he fought for him to get that contract. He fought tooth and nail. KD doesn't strike me as a dude who would do that. That he'll give his opinion. He'll go, I will keep him, if it was up to me. But if they go, you got to give us a yes or no, I feel like KD would be like, that, you guys are the office. You guys decide. So I don't think KD wants him to leave. I think KD will voice his opinion and say, I want him to stay. But in terms of actually fight for him to stay, I don't think he does that. Nate, am I bugging?
He's like the quiet kid in class. He doesn't really say much of anything. I mean, let me rephrase that statement. He is the quiet kid, not talkative, but gives their opinion about something. Like when a teacher asks, raise his hand, boom. Except that,
Exactly.
yeah.
So he'll say I want him, but I don't think he fights tooth and nail. Rob, what it do, baby? I heard you got home safe. Glad you had safe travels, my guy. But if I'm Kyrie, I'm just trying to rehab my career because, again, that only takes a year. You do 1 year because, again, when Kyrie was on the floor, Kyrie was putting up numbers. He was. So, again, it's not like he became a bum. You know? But a lot of teams' concern is, bro, your availability. Why am I going to give you a max contract and you're only going to play 20 games? Why am I going to give you a max contract and at the drop of a pen, you leave and you wouldn't even tell your head coach? You won't tell nobody. You'll tell a teammate, and then you expect that teammate to let everyone else know. I think all those things, you know, all those things kind of matter, you know?
Yeah.
This whole Kyrie Irving saga has been hilarious, though. It has been hilarious. Like I said, I'm not allowed to criticize Kyrie. It's adorable. But, Nate, final question. I want to get some wrestling in here. So, a while ago, Sasha Banks and Naomi were upset with the whole booking thing. They were supposed to be in a, what was it, 6-pack challenge or some dumb shit like that.
They were supposed to defend their titles in Hell in a Cell and then win. I think. Yeah, they were supposed to defend their title in Hell in a Cell against, I don't know who it was. I don't think they even announced who it was. But they were supposed to win. And then Vince McMahon decides to tell them, hey, no, we're changing that. We're changing that. Instead, you're going to fight. One person is going to fight Sasha Banks. Not Sasha. No, it was one person was going to fight. Anyway, they were supposed to fight the Raw defending champion at that time, and then the SmackDown Women's Champion at that time. Mm-hmm. But they were both going to lose, and they were kind of frustrated at that point. They felt like they weren't getting respected, all this types of stuff, and finally they just froze their contracts, and since they just went out and left until yesterday until Sasha Banks got released.
So all that happened, and excuse me. By the way, isn't it hilarious how the brand split doesn't exist anymore? How they unified the WWE, the Universal Championship, so now it's the WWE Undisputed Universal World Heavyweight Intercontinental Tag Team Hardcore WCW ECW Championship, right? Isn't it funny how they did all that and it's still 2 women's division? There's still a SmackDown Women's Champion and a Raw Women's Champion. I find that hilarious.
I'm wondering that too.
Maybe it's just me. I find that hilarious. But so here's my problem with the whole situation. Because honestly, I'll be honest with you, I'm confused. I am extremely confused. And here's why. The reason why I'm confused is, first of all, why was Sasha released and Naomi wasn't? That's
what I'm asking too.
Like people forget in this entire scenario. When Sasha was she was a tag team champion. It was with Naomi. And she walked in Laurinaitis' office and she also put the belt on his desk and walked out with Sasha. I don't think no one remembers that.
I have two answers.
Oh, let me hear it.
One, I wonder if Sasha Banks has a part to do with this whole affair situation.
No, I don't think so.
Two, look at who Naomi's husband is. Was one of the Usos.
No, you.
If Naomi gets released, what's going to happen to the Usos? Are they going to get upset and they're going to walk out? And then what's going to happen to Roman?
Well, they're gonna take they have to take the belts off Roman.
I think Roman's going to lose it to I think he's going to lose it at SummerSlam.
I hope so. Good.
And I think it will be to Randy Orton unless he's still hurt.
I was reading some. The injury that Orton had is actually more serious than they thought. So he's not going to be at SummerSlam. Yeah.
Unless it's
Crazy.
the John Cena. What if, it could be the John Cena. John Cena's coming back in what, next week on Raw? Yeah, it's 27th, so a week from today.
No, I thought it was this week.
I thought it was the 27th, so it might be 26. Yeah. Because today's what, Monday?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's the 27th, I think.
Because I was watching Raw last week. They were just saying, oh, yeah, Cena's going to be here. Well, let's say, I don't know. Because I know they said it was going to be in Toledo. That part I remember. They said it was going to be in Toledo. So, excuse me. But if I'm AEW, I get Sasha and I build. Oh yeah, AP says he's fighting Brock at SummerSlam. I forgot at the end after he beat Riddle. He said I smashed everybody. He was like, "There's no one left. There's no one left."
No, that's
and then
true.
Brock came out, and then he went to shake his hand and he hit him with the F5. So Roman versus Brock is this generation's Cena versus Orton. Because it's like every other week.
Well, like every other day.
Dude,
I'm kidding,
insane,
sort
bro.
of.
It's nuts, bro. It's nuts. But if I'm AEW, this is just me. If I'm AEW, I snatch up.
I would.
I snatch up Sasha Banks. And because I've been saying this for quite a little bit now. Quite a little bit. And excuse me, people have been getting upset with me, but you know, it is what it is. The women's roster, like the women's division, is, I don't want to say they're horrible, but they're horrible. Again, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean. But when some of your best talent is the former Ember Moon, who was not ever, she is the definition of mid. When you have her and your two champions is Britt Baker, who no one cares about until they found out she was with Adam Cole, and Jade Cargill who can't even throw a punch right. And then you have true talent on this roster like Mercedes Martinez, who you keep on dark because you don't know what to do with her. You don't know what to do with her, so you keep her on dark. You got true talent like you have in Rio, and you just don't use her, period. How far are we in 2022? Do you know how many matches she's had?
Oh.
6.
Yeah, I was going to say 6, maybe 7.
Yeah, 6. So it's like they have talent. And Ruby Soho, they had her, and, you know, it was cool in the beginning. And now they're just treating her dirty because, you know, they want to make their garbage-ass roster look nice. Like, I've always said, you need to pick 3 women. Like 3 or 4 women who are good. Not trash. Not trash. I don't need Tay Conti having a title. A piece of shit. Okay? I need 4 females who can go, and you can throw them out there with anybody, and they will give you a good match. And you need to build around them. And after you build around them, because building around them is only half the battle, after you finish building around these 4 women, make sure that you keep them on TV. Maybe. Because nothing kills a division faster than forgetting it ever existed. Now, if I'm AEW, I get Sasha Banks. I'm building around Sasha Banks, Mercedes Martinez, Ruby Soho, and I don't like this girl at all, but Toni Storm. You need a weak link in the big 4, and Toni Storm fits that bill. She'll be the weak link, right?
Yeah.
But you got those 4. Now all of a sudden your division seems a little more credible. Now it seems a little more legit. Because now you don't have Britt Baker, who in WWE would be in the developmental system, having a title. Now you don't have someone like Jade Cargill, who if she was in WWE, they would literally make FCW a thing again to send her ass over there. Like, that's what I would do. And then after that, the next step after those 4 you're built around, then you got the next 4 that, they aren't those 4 women, but these other chicks can go. And for that one, I put Rio. I would put Thunder Rosa in there. I do think you can make an argument that that's a stretch, but I would do that. I would do Sheeta. I would put her there. And then just for name value, you could put Athena too. The former Ember Moon. Just for namesake, you could put her there too. Already that's 8 females. 8 females that you can be able to run a division with. You can only have those 8 and you'll be fine. You can only have, never mind, you still got Chris Statlander that you'll be able to throw her in, from time to time to have her do some stuff. You know what I mean? You still got, okay, that's it. But still, the point is you still got your 8 and you're fine, right? But again, like, for me, they're trying to build the division around the wrong people. Again, if Britt Baker wasn't with Adam Cole, I don't even know if she'd even be signed to AEW. Jade Cargill, I don't know who she beat up, but she beat up an executive. She did something to some executive to get her contract. Because watching her in the ring, like, every single pay-per-view I've seen from AEW, Britt Baker and Jade Cargill, every time they've defended their title, those two have been one of, if not the worst matches on the show. If your champion is consistently putting out those type of matches, you need to move on. You need to move on. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If the only reason that this pay-per-view that should have been a 5-star get bumped down to 3.5 stars because these 2 matches are dog shit, you gotta move on. And they have people to move on too.
Now I have a question for you. Now, going back to my comment earlier about the whole affair situation.
Yeah.
The new CEO of WWE, even though she's only an intern, is a woman.
Yep.
Do you see, because of that reason, do you see some female athletes from AEW leaving, or do you see some female athletes from other brands leaving to go to WWE?
No. And this is what I say. First and foremost, so yeah, Steph is the interim GM, but we all know Vince is still calling the shots. Vince can still appear. He's still in Gorilla, and he's still running that stuff. So there's that. 2, I don't think this will, like, with Stephanie McMahon being in charge in terms of the GM position, I don't think that'll make any of the women go over to WWE. I don't think so. And the only reason why I personally don't think so is because if there's another company outside of AEW that doesn't know what the fuck to do with women, this is WWE. And with Vince still being able to call the shots and run the shows and stuff, that itself is not really gonna help anything at all.
Yeah.
So I do get why you would ask that. I get it, because on paper it sounds like, you put Steph in it, that should, but the actual overall atmosphere is still there. And this is why I'm kind of disappointed in AEW, because you see WWE, you see that, their treatment of women has been, a roller coaster at best, right? Where 1 minute women are legit and, they're phenomenal and we love everything about them. And then all of a sudden it changes and we didn't care about them. Like they're inconsistent. So with AEW, you see what they're doing. All you have to do is the exact opposite. And guess what? Unfortunately, they're doing the same thing WWE is.
Yeah.
So if I'm them, why would I go to WWE, get treated the same when I'm already comfortable where I'm at? At least that's how I would look at it. I'm comfortable where I'm at. Like I'm all right. Like if I'm not gonna, be, if I'm not gonna be, like utilized, might as well be in a position where I'm more comfortable. And if I'm more comfortable in AEW, that's where I'm staying. And I say that for men and women alike too. I say that for men and women alike, because there are some guys who haven't really been utilized on TV either, and they just waited it out. The perfect
that riddle
example,
stipulation was dumb.
So what?
I'm sorry. That riddle stipulation that Roman gave was dumb.
Wait, the what?
So Roman gave actually no, it's
yeah.
Heyman.
So if he lost to him, he would never challenge for the title again, as long as Roman Reigns has it. Yeah, I thought that was just dumb.
It was dumb, but mainly for one reason. Riddle lost, and look who came out for the building of time.
But honestly, but you don't even need that stipulation to do that. You can just have Riddle still lose and bring out Brock.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Drugs are hard, man. But I don't know. But for me, like I said, man, it's a shame. It really is. It really is a shame. But at the end of the day, what are we supposed to do? One day, I feel like AEW, and I do expect, because AEW is still young, I do expect them, because this is what I would do if I was AEW. This is what I would do. I would get 2 hours, right?
Okay.
And by the way, Empire makes a good point. AEW just has too many people on one show. Everyone can't have screen time. And I get it. Don't get it twisted. I get that. But to neglect your entire women's division is counterintuitive as well. That's counterintuitive as well. What I would do, this is just me. This is what I would do. I would make an hour show specifically for the women. Specifically for the women. Or turn Dynamite into 3 hours And then that last hour, specifically women. That's what I would do.
Okay.
I would do that. So that way, you're now giving some of these women an opportunity. You're not having legitimate like main event stars and main event talent on AEW Dark because you don't know what to do with her. That would be like that's just me. To me, that's just dumb. So that's just me. That's what I would do. I would have either like have like or even just an hour, man. Like do something with this women's division because, like I said, and again, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not. But when Britt Baker and Jade Cargill are your champions, you're fucked. Especially considering you have way more. You have more talent on your roster. You got the talent, but you want to know why they don't use that talent? Because they don't spotlight on them. That's why. Just because, and here's the thing, man. Like Mercedes Martinez, right? She came from NXT. Just because you come from NXT, you might have to start over. Now everyone's gonna get the Ruby Soho treatment, where when you leave WWE, as soon as you get there in the women's division, they're gonna pop for you and they're gonna love you and they're gonna rock with you. Sometimes you need to restart from scratch. Sometimes you gotta rebuild, kind of like what they had to do with Awesome Kong when they first brought her in. Nobody really talked about shit in the past. They started over with her because they were like, all right, we don't know how you're gonna like. They put her out the first time. They're like, how did they react? Okay, not strong enough to let her old stuff in essence kind of carry her through. So we're gonna rebuild her a little bit. The same gimmick. It's the same gimmick, but we're not gonna use that gimmick and we're gonna revitalize it and rejuvenate it into the eyes of the fans we have now. Sometimes you need to do that stuff, but how can you do that when they never give you the opportunity? And honestly, that's one of the biggest problems of the women's division. They're not giving the legitimate, talented women an opportunity. They're not. And
what
it's a
if
shame.
you create what if you push the tag team division?
Would it for the men?
No, for the women. Like, what if you
give them like a tag team title?
Yeah, and have that pretty stuff. That means the women would get more screen time for that way, and there will be tag team.
And then you know what I would do?
Titles on the line.
Yeah, and then you know what I would also do on top of that too? I would start the women's show. I would start that, and then everyone kind of get in the swing of it for like 2-3 weeks, and then after that, I'll have like a tournament, but the teams are randomized.
Ooh,
that's another thing.
Okay.
I would have randomized teams, and the reason why I would have randomized teams is because that way you can create something fresh with new teams, but also you can also have a way to start feuds. For instance, you can have the whole storyline with Ruby Soho and Athena, the two ex-WWE people, and now here they come and they're gonna tag together. They're gonna try to run through the division, right? They're gonna look at, excuse me, you're gonna look at Mercedes Martinez and Paige Van Zandt. You can put them together, two MMA women. However, maybe both their egos are too much, and that's why they're losing, and then that ends up making a feud for them, right? You could end up putting Rio with Britt Baker, right? You can end up doing something like that where you now have you have Rio obviously trying to help her and take her and whatnot, but while she's a champion, Rio, who was the first ever champion, you sometimes kind of see her looking at the title like, wouldn't it be nice if I get that instead? Like, you're now adding different story elements to it. So now if there's a team that loses all the time, you can get something out of it. So they're not losing because they're jobbers or because they're bums. They're losing because there's that underlining tone of they're always, just not it. Or you could just have two women who desperately want to win, right? You can have two women who desperately, truly want to win, but for some reason, are always on just two separate wavelengths. Like get Tony Storm and pair her up with Bunny, and all of a sudden, two females who are kind of talented, like they can't win, but it's because they don't have that chemistry. So that forms resentment. Now, and look, I didn't even go to college, and like I'm kind of I have somewhat of a rough outline. It's not hard. It's not hard. I understand. I don't give a fuck to see Hangman Adam Page every single week. I don't want to see him every single week. I don't care to see him every single week. As much as I love Adam Cole, why do I gotta hear him every single week? That's why the Undisputed Era. Oh. Yeah, this is why the Undisputed Era worked in NXT, because there were times where Adam Cole wouldn't show up. He wouldn't be on TV, and it would just be Kyle O'Reilly or Bobby Fish going out and defending their titles, or Roderick Strong defending the North American title. And the only time he really came out was when they needed a great promo to push a storyline ahead. Now it's like they wheel him out every week, and it's like, dude, you can't do that every week. And this coming from an Adam Cole fan. I love me some Adam Cole. Why do I need to see him every week repeating the same stuff over and over and over again? When you have and honestly, it's not even just the females. It's not even just the females. They have a whole roster.
And he's not a female.
Like,
so, yeah.
Bro, to me, man, it's just, and AEW is close. They are so close, man. They are so close, and it just takes them, they're close, and but they're so far, and it's almost as if they're kind of panicking, and they're like, "Yo, we need to have, nothing but superstars on," and it's like, you're right. I understand that. But if you get someone else who's a worker, they're going to turn into a superstar. That's just how it is. You don't have to be, if you can go out there and work, you'll become a superstar. Let me shut up, man. I'm raging right now. I'm getting butthurt, man. I'm getting butthurt. Nate, you think AEW should get Sasha Banks?
Yes. Something else AEW should do? Find some way that people out here in the West Coast would be able to watch it besides YouTube clips.
I don't think. Oh man, that's weird. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's something else, man. They stay a lot on the East Coast. Very minimal travel, which is why you kind of see a lot of the people like to stay there.
I think USFL has the same problem, except they only play in one stadium.
Yeah, that
is worse.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's up with them, but yeah, that's weird. I want to like AEW so bad. I desperately want to like them so bad. But they're messing up, man. They're messing up real bad. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Prideful Takes podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Prideful Takes. Any news you guys want us to talk about, feel free to tag us. Catch us on Facebook at Prideful Takes and also on YouTube at Prideful Takes. Visit our website, www.pridefultakes.com. Not only is every episode of the podcast up there, but we also have original articles. Check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, the Prideful Takes podcast. If you have an iPhone, just say, "Hey Siri, Play the Prideful Takes podcast, and she will take care of the rest. And as always, go to www.fatco.com. Use discount code Prideful Takes. Get 15% off all your organic skin care needs. Nate, let the good people where they can find you.
All right, you can find me on the Sports Status podcast mostly every Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, except that I can't go except that I didn't do it this week, so I'll do it actually tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll have a special guest. I said that really weird. Special guest, Lennon Chris. He will be on talking about the NFC East, breaking it down. This week 3 of breaking down each division, covered the NFC North and the AFC North as well. Also, you can find me on the ASAP Afternoon Blitz every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and ASAP Wrestling Hour every Wednesday.
So you guys already know where to find good old Nate. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Nate, it is your boy Pride. I'll be back here on Wednesday to talk more sports. Until then, y'all know what to do. Be safe.
Knew where that was going. That was a great read. Oh, Lillard from the logo. That'll quiet the
2 on the season. 2nd and 1 for the Bills. They handle the rush. Allen looking. End zone!
To Shohei Ohtani. Center field. Let's watch it go. Did several of those inside low kicks.